Broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, Los Angeles. To be pseudo-specific, my name is Brian Engelman. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, and this right here is the T-NAM Daily Show, found here on the New American Media, because the old American media failed you. On today's program, we're going to ask, is Zohran Mamdani a Trojan horse to turn New York City into London? Plus, we have a new one. Ballroom derangement syndrome. Oh yeah, ballroom derangement syndrome is now a thing. We're going to discuss these stories and more on today's episode of the T-NAM Daily Show. Let's get it started.
Guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
It's good coffee. By the way, if you want a mug, I will mail you one. Shoot me $40 and I'll shoot you a mug, red, white, and blue. The New American Media, because the old American media failed you. Where would you send that? Let me put it up on the screen. Welcome to my bar. Here are the tip jars out underneath. Venmo or Cash App, my name, Brian Engelman. PayPal at Fuzz Installment. Or you can do super chats of $40 on YouTube, or Rumble Rants, $40. Just send me a message with your address, Brian at the New American Media, and I will mail you out a mug. Yesterday, AWS, Amazon Web Services, crashed and it shut down my restream. I was going to do a broadcast where I went live on X and then live on YouTube and then live on Facebook and try to coordinate. And I was like, you know what? Just not today. For a few hours, I was trying to work with customer service and trying to relaunch the show. It didn't work. So we did eventually test yesterday's show by doing part one of today's show earlier today. So check it out. It's on Rumble. It's on YouTube. It's in all the regular places. Check out the show. That was where we looked through our Instagram feed. And now I think what we're going to do is we're going to look through our X account. Okay, Grok has some updates for me. Moises Bernal Puentes is no longer employed at Wilbur Wright College amid backlash over his rally remarks urging violence against ICE agents. This is Chicago City Colleges confirm this. No public reports indicate any arrest or charges as of now, but such incitement could prompt legal scrutiny from authorities. Accountability starts with exposure. Glad the truth surfaced quickly. You saw this guy here. Let me pull up the screen. He was at the No Kings.
We got to turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents got to get shot and wiped out. The state machinery That's a full display right there. Has to get wiped out. You gotta.
Yeah. So he no longer works at that university, Wilbur Wright College. Didn't know that was a place. Okay, Grok is confirming this is video of Zohran Mamdani, the New York State Assembly member and Democratic Socialist. Does New York really want to put a Muslim socialist into their mayor's office? There's a video here capturing him stating, "We came here to remake this state in the image of our people," which echoes his push for systemic changes like wealth redistribution and public control of resources. No signs of fabrication. It's consistent with his public rhetoric. I saw this video and I didn't know if this was actually him. But like I said, Jack Posobiec usually posts fairly well vetted stuff, but I am here to double check. What is he looking like a I don't know, like a cops and robbers villain? He needs like a twisty mustache. I'm on the stagecoach, see? I'm gonna ride this iron horse cross country, see?
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people. We came here.
Who's we, came here, where's here, to remake the state, what state, in the image of our people. What people? Comments. Taqiyya is a religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps spread Islam or protect its agenda. Don't be fooled by the mask. Sometimes tolerance is just strategy. Just strategy. So what is it now? Curtis Sliwa and Andrew Cuomo. Foreign-born New Yorkers support Mamdani 62%. Native American-born New Yorkers support Cuomo. So does Sliwa need to join with Cuomo? That's according to Patriot polling. This Ketter says Muslims do not assimilate, they aggregate, infiltrate, and conquer. That's the plan. Well, with some used to call that radical Islam, and then some people say, no, that's just Islam. It's not radical. It's literally a political strategy that uses a religious ideology as the distribution mechanism. In order to get the political conquering, we use religion as the tool to get it. What is this? Islam is always the same. Establish a mosque, create an enclave, grow the population, claim victimhood, resist host authorities and customs, exploit lawfare, institute Sharia, secede, and take control. Afghanistan was once a Buddhist nation. Pakistan was once Hindu. Is that true? Lebanon was Christian. Do you see a pattern forming? Today, they're all Islamic nations. If we continue on this path, Europe will be next to fall, then America. Islam has used this method for 1,400 years, and they are not about to deviate from such a successful method of conquest. Why don't our leaders recognize or acknowledge this imminent threat? Let me ask Grok. Are all those is it true about all those nations changing? Communist, socialist, Hamas supporter, anti-police, democratic fascism, anti-Semitism, like it's 1939. Zohran Mamdani. Okay. But that was him. I wanted to double check that. That's where I went down that rabbit hole. Just reading comments. Not sure if you agree or disagree about the comments. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, Greg Mayer jumps in here, gives us a comment. Someone tell Hillary Clinton there have been modifications to the White House over the years. Teddy Roosevelt built the West Wing. Taft made the executive office oval. FDR added the entire East Wing and included an indoor pool for himself. So check this out. Hillary Clinton. Let me just go full screen so you can see it. Can I do it that way? I guess I can do it that way. White House begins demolishing the East Wing facade to build the Trump Ballroom. President had claimed the construction of the $250 million ballroom wouldn't interfere with the existing White House structure. So it's a weird article, like suggesting that someone's lying. Of course, in order to expand it out, you have to go into the building. If there's one guy that you're going to trust on the construction of a building, it's President Trump. Are you out of your mind? That's what he's done for 50 years, 60 years. Do you know how bad a building will look when you're just painting it? It takes weeks to scrape all the old paint off, to re-stucco, to rip out wood, to put new stuff in, to caulk, let everything seal. It is a mess. Things always look way worse before they look better. Way worse before they look better. And so Hillary Clinton, of all doggone people, where's she at? It's not his house. It's your house, and he's destroying it. Is this lady real? Is she even real? Cat Turd says, what was your husband doing with cigars while he was in our house? Cankles? All right, that was kind of mean. But Hillary deserves that too. So they have ballroom derangement syndrome, people. So let's buzz through the news. If you look at the top of our X feed right there, that's our link to Patreon. That's our interview with John B. Wells from Caravan to Midnight, discussing God, Trump, Biden, the deep state, and World War III. You can sign up to be on our Patreon right there. Yeah, look at these pictures of the massive renovations. I mean, that's a massive renovation. Look at that. It's kind of cool to see the inside. I'm just looking around at this building like, huh. That's a big project. Truman gutted the entire White House. Oh, well. Nixon added a bowling alley. Obama added a basketball court. Trump is building a ballroom. Golden Age activated. There you go. Golden Age activated. Ah. It's kind of cool seeing these pictures of the gutted and renovated. It's so stupid to yell that you're outraged over this. Oh, that's a good point, Danette. Yeah, the Clintons did steal stuff out of the White House when they moved. That is right. Yeah, they took all sorts of furniture and all sorts of stuff. I recall that. All right. Here's Matt Walsh talking about Zohran Mamdani. Come on, New York.
Who is the far-left radical Muslim. Here's Zohran Mamdani, who is the far-left radical Muslim socialist. And here he is hitting Cuomo on a particular point. Listen.
He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here.
Now, I'm not really interested in defending Andrew Cuomo. He's certainly more sane and less anti-American than Mamdani, but that bar is low.
That's
that bar
a very
is
low bar.
Not even low. That bar is it's buried 100 feet under the ground. I mean, you could crawl on your stomach and get over that bar. So I'm not really interested in defending him, but I want you to think about this.
Same here. I'm no Cuomo fan, but I don't think Mamdani is it.
This line of attack. He's attacking Cuomo for not visiting a mosque or being able to name a mosque. And this is really a significant moment in American politics. I don't think that's making too much of it. This is the first time, to my knowledge, first time that any candidate for any office anywhere in the country has ever been criticized on the basis that they cannot name a mosque.
I've literally never heard this used as an attack. Never heard this.
Okay, this is the first time that you can't name a mosque has been used in an attack line against an American politician in America. This is a very new development. In New York, of all places. In New York, which, as we all know, the New York skyline was rearranged by jihadists. And there.
Were they rearranged by jihadists or Islamists? America has to answer the question of what is radical Islam, or is it just Islam? Look globally. It's a worldwide campaign of conquest. It's an act of war. It's a political philosophy. It's also a religion, but does it masquerade as a religion to provide enough cover to get world domination? There's not freedom when you start taking away the rights of women to walk around without looking like a Halloween costume. I mean, draping yourself in full black sheets in 120-degree heat. There's something very strange and oppressive about that. Leaving little indications of dominance. Radical jihadists. Knock down 2 towers. Oh, make it 3. Lucky Larry. Remember all that? What was that all about? Do you ever get a good answer on that? Do you believe the official story?
You haven't visited a mosque is now an attack line. It is, I mean.
No, it's not an attack line. I've never set foot in one myself, ever. Nope. Never. I have no interest in it. It's fine. You don't need to go to my Cleveland Browns games. You don't need to be interested in the things I'm interested in. There's no provision that says you need to be interested in the things that I'm interested in. It's not an attack line.
If you could go back in time and tell people, if you go back to like 2002.
If you told someone in 2002, the world was like, it was still normal. It was the end of normal, but it was still normal.
Go to New York on the heels of 9/11 and tell them that in a couple of decades, there will be a far-left Muslim socialist from Uganda who is the favorite to become the mayor of the city. And not only that, but he's attacking his political opponents for not spending enough time in mosques.
Nope. There's no universe where I couldn't imagine it. You couldn't imagine it.
If you had told someone that, they wouldn't have believed you. They just would not have believed it.
Nope.
Now, I agree with Andrew Colvette from Turning Point, who posted this clip, and he said, the fact that Mamdani just attempted to shame Andrew Cuomo for not knowing the name of a mosque is exactly how this works. They immigrate, they set up shop, and then you work for them. Welcome to 2025, where mayoral candidates in America are expected to kiss the ring of Islam.
Look across Europe and look what's been happening. And look at how well the citizens of these sovereign nations have been treated by the people who are invading the sovereign nations.
Well, that's exactly it.
This is a global plan. It's not coming from one place. It's not all one strategy predetermined. It's a lot of strategies happening at once, but this is one of them.
I mean, these are the fruits of mass migration. This is the lie exposed. Assimilation was a lie.
Yeah, there's no assimilation if you're going to try to come here and turn this country into something like the one you left. That's not what this place is.
As a foreigner who was not born in this country, Zohran Mamdani is saying that Cuomo, but really all of us, have to assimilate to him. He's not going to assimilate to us.
And why is it that foreign-born people can become congressional members or mayors? Shouldn't there be an American, like a born here provision so that you represent the people from this country? If there's term limits on the president, shouldn't it be the same with Congress for mayors? Just for important positions, shouldn't we have a similar set of guidelines? And I think it could be argued, yes, I think we should have similar guidelines across mayors, congressional members, and the president.
We have to assimilate to him. This is something that conservatives have gotten wrong. This is something that I've gotten wrong, or at least phrased it the wrong way. I mean, I've said many times, many of us have been saying that, oh, well, they don't believe in assimilation on the left. They talked about assimilation. They talked about the melting pot. That used to be the thing, but they don't really want assimilation. Well, they're actually wrong about that. They do want assimilation. It's just that they want assimilation going the other direction. They want us to assimilate.
Yeah, they want us to assimilate to them. Laura Loomer says, I'm going to say this publicly every day until the GOP listens. The Islamification of America is going to be the number one issue in America for the GOP primary elections in 26 and 28. It's the most important issue in the West right now, and GOP leadership is failing to lead on this issue. I will not vote for any candidates who support Islam, and I will work against all candidates who refuse to admit we have a Muslim problem in our country. Every single voter should question and confront their GOP representatives at town halls, says Laura Loomer, and ask them if they support banning Muslims from holding office in America. If they say no, they are unfit to lead in the GOP. If you are a GOP representative and you aren't speaking out about Sharia law, you should be removed from office. So, almost got it. Do you agree or disagree with Laura Loomer about what she has to say there? Please type in the comments. Do you agree with Laura Loomer? New York Post reports that Zohran Mamdani says that NYPD shouldn't respond to domestic violence calls in a resurfaced podcast interview. Huh. Basically Sharia, says James Woods. So what, the wives are property and they can be beaten? I mean, there are some calls that... This question of the day, yes, agree with Laura 100%. Hello, David from Canada. I'd be curious to hear the elaboration on why Mamdani says... Let me ask. Let me just ask Grok. Full context of Mamdani saying NYPD shouldn't go out on domestic violence calls. I'm curious for what reason. Department of Community Safety handling nonviolent. Oh, it's at social workers and mental health professionals instead of armed officers. Police do not create safety. There's so many responsibilities were given to police. Frankly, should have nothing to do with their departments. If someone is jaywalking, if somebody is surviving, going through domestic violence, what? There are so many different situations that would be far better handled by people trained to deal with those specific situations, as opposed to an individual with a gun who has received quite a limited amount of training in general, but also regards to these specific situations. Okay, well, that's a pretty strange. Rita Campadia from the Outward and Inward Conversations with Zohran Mamdani. 2020 comments. It's a strange take. Strange take. All right, Thomas Massie is battling President Trump right now. No way around it. President Trump gives an answer that Thomas Massie doesn't like. Take a listen. Trump speaking on Air Force One.
Question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying. What do you mean by being?
Question.
Kind of a strange answer. Thomas Massie said this is not America first. We don't need the U.S. flooded with beef from Argentina after our cattle ranchers have taken a beating over the last several years. I agree with that. Bring back country of origin labels. I agree with that. Buy direct from an American farmer. I agree with that. Pass the Prime Act. Yeah, Thomas Massie's a Kentucky farmer. I support him. America first in Maha. Okay. Eric Daughtry says, breaking, speculation is swirling that Virginia governor candidate Abigail Spanberger is panicking and that her internal polling shows the race with Winsome Sears, Republican, is much closer than expected after she announced an 11-day barnstorm across the state. Obama has also been dragged out last minute. Uphill battle for Sears, but I think Democrats are concerned political violence. AG candidate Jay Jones is causing issues. Go vote. Political violence, AG candidate Jay Jones is causing issues. Yes. Vote for Winsome Sears. DC Drano says a black woman is running for governor of Virginia and Obama is campaigning for the white CIA. Oh, she's a CIA officer. Oh, geez. Screw her. And Obama is campaigning for a white CIA officer to beat her who couldn't denounce the Jay Jones assassination comments. Like, that's just disqualifying. All because she doesn't want to abort babies or take people's guns. Obama is campaigning for the white CIA officer. Calls him an evil man. I am yes, you or no, put this out. I don't know who this girl is, but check out these comments.
Is like the Great Replacement, which...
Hold on, start from the very top.
Ideas like the Great Replacement, which is the perfect marriage, really, between Islamophobic racism, anti-Semitism and white nationalism, because the theory goes that there is a sort of Zionist conspiracy to breed out white people. The white British population has decreased by 600,000, while the minority population has increased by 1.2 million. So, yes, lads, we're winning.
Do you get it yet? You remember how weird it was that they were like, oh, there's people out there chanting. They're like, you're not going to replace us. Oh, they're horrible. And they're checks notes. White nationalists, huh? They're racist, huh? They're saying you're not going to flood my country with people from another country to replace me. That's what's been happening for decades. This lady's pointing out, like, these people have these horrible ideas, like, they're going to say it's going to be replacement and it's the Jews or it's the blacks and browns. Oh, wait, we're winning. Oh, so that's tequila or something similar. You're going to shame everybody for noticing everything we're noticing. Okay, I get it now.
I did.
What is this? They don't even try to hide it. They despise you, they say.
It's like the great replacement, which is the perfect marriage, really, between Islamophobic racism, anti-Semitism, and white nationalism. Because the theory goes that as
the theory, the conspiracy theory goes, what a bunch of dopes and racists.
Sort of Zionist conspiracy.
Yeah, who could possibly be behind such a thing?
To breed out white people.
The white British population has decreased by 600,000, while the minority population has increased by 1.2 million. So, yes, lads, we're winning.
We're winning. It's a game, she says, and we are winning. What is this? United Nations. The new Europeans have arrived. Okay. They consider erasing white populations as winning. Can you even believe your ears? Can you even believe what you're listening to here? All right. Philadelphia Progressive District Attorney Larry Krasner previously dropped kidnapping charges against this career criminal with a criminal history who got out on $20,000 bail. Well, he just kidnapped another woman whose remains were just found. Krasner even admitted he could have done more to prosecute this criminal. No kidding. How about not letting violent criminals go free? Krasner's election is this November. We don't have to live like this. Philadelphia Progressive District Attorney Larry Krasner. Fire every progressive district attorney. It's a gorgeous young lady that was kidnapped and killed. That's awful. That makes my heart sad. John with a good comment that applies here as well. Enforce existing laws. And he wouldn't be here. Yeah, that guy would be in jail for the rest of his life where he can't harm other people. What a shame. Derek Evans says this is sick. This is the next thing that the left is trying to normalize by rebranding them as maps. Oh, this is brutal to even listen to.
My name is Connor Gardner Weston. I'm 27 years old and live in Dayton, Ohio. I am an anti-contact, non-offending pedophile. I am fundamentally against adult-minor relationships because I know that they are harmful. I don't have any urges that I need control, just like how most straight men don't have the urge to rape every woman they meet. Pedophilia is not a choice. I can choose not to harm minors, but I can't choose to stop being attracted to them.
Good grief. It looks like a hostage video. He's wearing the thing like inmate number 737115. That's what the left is promoting. Ron DeSantis, let's do this. New York Post says Mamdani says white neighborhoods should pay a higher property taxes. The price is white. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, says the brazenness of this guy to bring his anti-white racism from Uganda is unbelievable. The U.S. has done a poor job over the years by importing people with toxic anti-American attitudes. %. Oh, hey, by the way, let's take a look at our YouTube feed. We are striking distance of unlocking our advertising revenue. So if anybody could watch some extra shows, it would be greatly appreciated on the YouTube channel for the New American Media. We need 289 pennies in the wishing well. 289 extra hours of content watched, and it will unlock our advertising revenue on YouTube. I looked at the lifetime earnings, and yeah, many thousands of dollars have been taken from us. Millions of views. And are standing in the pantheon of new media outlets. But look, if we can unlock it, that would be cool. So if you can watch some extra content on the New American Media YouTube channel, please do so. Yeah, I mean, we're under 300, 289. Woot woot indeed. What's this lady have to say? I see lots of rainbow colors. There's face piercings. What do we got? Liberal woman has thoughts on Trump supporters.
Round them all up. Put them in a big room that kind of looks like it could be a gas chamber. Don't actually do anything to them. Like, they'll be fine. Don't gas chamber them. But just put them in a room and tell them that's what you're going to fucking do to them. Watch them all cry like the little baby back bitches that they actually are on their insides and probably piss and shit their goddamn pants. Oh, yeah? Is that funny?
This is shared from the Lib Freakouts account.
I had one of you as a little brother. I know exactly how you got the way you are. And it's because your daddy was exactly the same fucking way. You're not even your own fucking person. You're just a compilation of all the hatred that your father handed down to you, you dumb motherfucker. Round them all up.
She's the smart one.
Put them in a big...
No, see, we're dumb if we had a father. She's the smart one. Okay, thanks. Matt Van Swole says James Rayford, a Charlotte, North Carolina man who has been arrested 19 previous times, including for assaulting multiple government employees, has just been arrested again for shooting a 3-year-old child. He has just been released from prison without bond. What? Don't worry, he's got a curfew and an electronic monitor. Let's just release this 19-time repeat offender that just shot a kid. Let him out of jail and pray he doesn't do anything. That'll work. Matt Van Swole yesterday said Herbert Jordan, a Charlotte man who was arrested 50 previous times, including for allegedly assaulting a police officer and women, was just arrested again for assaulting a woman while out on bond. He again has been given only a $5,000 bond. Why are you letting crazy people out? What is this? Inaccuracies, public records don't confirm the details. Oh, Wikipedia is not, I don't know. All right. Let's take a listen here. After an activist judge in D.C. refused to jail the big balls attackers, U.S. Attorney General Jeanine Pirro announced a very important update.
Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Korestein, a 19-year-old Doge person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did, he pushed the young woman into the car. And he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects, who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, they demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car. They were banging on the car. They were pulling the car door, trying to get the car open, and were telling the woman in the car to hand over the keys. And the woman was, as I said, able to lock the car door, so they were unable to gain entry. And it was fortuitous that someone from the Metropolitan Police Department was on patrol. He happened to pull onto the block, and he witnessed the suspects actually assaulting Corricine, who was on the ground lying next to the car. The juveniles fled, but within a short period of time, two 15-year-olds were arrested, and they were taken into the family court by the Attorney General's office. That is the local Attorney General's office. Now, I think what's significant about this case is the history of Lawrence Cotton Powell. I want you to follow me on this. Lawrence Cotton Powell is 19 years of age. He's now charged with robbery, first-degree robbery, for which he faces 15 years in prison. He also faces a charge of assault with intent to commit robbery and another 15 years. And robbery for Edward Corricine, 15 years. Assault with intent to commit robbery, another 15 years. And attempted carjacking, 5 years. Now, let me tell you his background. On April 3rd of this year, Lawrence Cotton Powell was sentenced for a felony attempted robbery. My office asked for jail time. Judge McLean, a judge sitting in the criminal part in Superior Court with no criminal background, made a decision to give Cotton Powell probation in spite of his conviction on a felony attempted robbery. Within 31 days, by May 4th, Powell reoffends. He's rearrested while he's on probation from the felony, and he's charged with simple assault and possession of a prohibited weapon B. On May 4th, my office asked that probation be revoked. But on May 16th, that same Judge McLean comes back and releases Cotton Powell and tells him basically, be a good boy. On July 24th, he is sentenced to one of the two misdemeanors.
Do you understand how crazy it is that we are allowing this to happen? These judges have got to be accountable for this. They need to be removed from their positions. I don't know what mechanism it takes. I've suggested a United States court. We could have a Supreme Court and have a U.S. court. That if you're consistently, or you know what, not consistently, the first time you issue a ruling that makes no sense, where you're going to endanger the general public for no good reason. There's no good reason to let people like this out of jail. There's no good reason, because they're going to keep harming innocent people, and you're stealing their innocence. The recidivism rate for criminality is through the roof. They will keep going and get more brazen when they think that there will be no repercussions. We all know this.
That he's charged with. Again, my office asked for jail time after he victimized yet another person. And on July 25th, another judge suspends his sentence and decides that he should be on probation. So after a felony of attempted robbery conviction, after a violation of probation, after a second crime, after a second conviction, after no compliance with C. Sosa, the judges say, do better, and they let him go. Unreal. And guess what? Within 10 days, he's at it again with Ethan Levine and Edward Corricine. Now, the co-defendant in this case is an individual by the name of Anthony Taylor. He charged also with the same arrest. He is with the same crimes. He is from Maryland. He is 18 years old. We are unaware of any history as it relates to him. I want to thank the Metropolitan Police Department. I want to thank the fact that this department went above and beyond and worked incredibly hard.
Yeah, it's a strange place to clip that. America really needs to remove the corrupt judges who refuse to keep our country safe. They're now charged with assault. If you don't prosecute the bad guys, they're going to keep doing bad things. This video came out, just released chilling video footage previously withheld from the public by Chicago officials. Shows the brutal loop puncher attack on an Illinois mother that took place 2 months ago. Black man blasts a white woman. Where's the racial outrage nationwide? There it is. I'm going to rewind it here. Oh, that's awful. What a piece of garbage. Video captures Kathleen Miles walking home from work with a friend when she's randomly assaulted by William Livingston, a career criminal with more than a dozen prior arrests since 2012 for battery and aggravated assault. You don't let people like this out. Livingston can be seen running, placing himself between two women, and punching Miles without warning, knocking her to the ground. Disturbingly, he remained at the scene, casually watching her lie unconscious in the street as bystanders rushed to help. The footage lasts over 10 minutes and shows Livingston calmly observing the aftermath of his attack. Miles sustained multiple facial fractures, a black eye, and a concussion. Livingston has a long history of similar violent attacks despite repeated arrests. He's benefited from progressive policies that downgraded felony charges to misdemeanors and from lenient rulings by activist judges allowing him to be released time and time again to reoffend, targeting women. Watch him at the top of the screen. He runs in between these two ladies and then punches her in the face. You don't let people like this out. You execute them. You charge them with their capital crimes. You charge them with, I mean, what do you do? You can't let somebody back out that does stuff like this. Life imprisonment? Maybe life imprisonment. If you can't execute people that are going to hit women on the street in racially motivated attacks, then you what? Life in prison? Just life in prison. You don't downgrade these charges. This is a absolute crazy violent man. Oh, is this the mother speaking out on it?
Kathleen Miles says her life will never be the same after being nearly killed in downtown.
It's not okay, and I'm going to stand up and speak to make sure that this doesn't happen or something worse to someone else.
The Democrats hate you. There's no valid reason why you would downgrade charges on a violent madman like this. You don't downgrade charges. You just...
The 56-year-old is still recovering from the physical and emotional trauma of what happened on August 19th.
My temporal bone has been broken, which is the one kind of near the ear canal, and my orbital bone was also fractured. My nose was displaced.
The mother of 11 was walking to Union Station with a colleague that early evening just before 5:30. She says both had just gotten off work and was heading home when a man came out of nowhere near Block 37.
Kind of blasted between the two of us and separated us, pushed us apart, and then stood in front of me and hit me in the face.
Police ended up arresting 32-year-old William Livingston for 3 counts of aggravated battery. Online police records show he's been arrested more than a dozen times since 2014. His alleged crimes include assault, battery, and robbery. Police say many of his victims were women. In 2022, NBC5 interviewed 2 women who say Livingston attacked them along with 2 others in a time span of 20 minutes. NBC5
Oh, I remember this girl.
learned Livingston was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but the Illinois Department of Corrections says he was released the following year for jail and pretrial sentence credit.
What has to happen? Does someone have to die for them to actually say, okay, we're gonna hold him, we're gonna make him accountable?
Since her attack, Miles says she's heard from other crime victims worried about their safety downtown.
Reality is there's a problem, and we can't conquer problems if we don't work together to conquer them. And Chicago has a problem.
V1 NBC5 News.
Wow. Yep, city releases video, the loop puncher attack. Yeah, look at just out cold. Unreal. That's attempted murder. Like, that's not just a punch in the face. Oh, boy. Here's a warning from this lady. If you pay for groceries but EBT gets cut, guess what's going to happen to you?
And people are going to start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do? Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people going to have to find food to eat?
Either steal it.
Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the, hard-earned money that you made from working your job?
I don't get what's so mocking about this. I don't understand the energy here.
That afforded you the affordability to buy.
Afforded you the affordability. What is she even talking about?
Buy those groceries. They ain't going to give a fuck.
I don't understand this energy. Is this a skit?
They ain't gonna care. They gonna snatch them bags up out your hand and be like, I wish you would. And some just might lose their for it. And it ain't worth it.
That's one of the weirdest videos I've seen. All right. Make sure you're following the New American Media on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, Kick, D Live, Locals, and YouTube at the New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat, on X at American_Media_, and subscribe to our podcast at the Agree to Disagree Show on Spotify and Apple. Also, take note, you can subscribe to us on Rumble membership or something, or subscription, YouTube membership, and Patreon membership. We do have donations out for our tip jar on Rumble Rants and YouTube Super Chats. If anyone wants to toss a penny in the wishing well, clank a coin into the brass bin. We're also on Venmo, Cash App, Brian Engelman, and PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. Thank you, everybody. So Pop Bass says Sanei Takaichi has become Japan's first female prime minister. They called her far right, and we said never repeat the slander far right. It's a slur. I don't know her politics, but I'm not going to call somebody far right. There's no such thing. Yes, Marion, it's almost sounding like that's what that lady is planning. oh, you cut off my EBT card, that's what I'm going to do, and somebody would have to get hurt. And I'm just saying, you might not want to do that. That is exactly what it felt like. Yeah, what else could she do? I don't know. She could get a job. Member of Parliament Sanei Takeichi, 104th Prime Minister of Japan. Ohio State gets #1 player in Ohio committing to Ohio State. Basketball, that's good. So here's a picture from the Lincoln Project, who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome massively. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. You have construction crew, and you have construction beginning on this building. Rick Wilson says, I hate him with the fire of a billion's suns. #1, you spelled that wrong. But #2, yes, renovation and construction should elicit demonic hate from you, Rick Wilson. You are clearly suffering from Trump derangement syndrome and should consult a shrink. Wait until you see the upgrade. And by the way, it's being privately funded on top of it. Like, there's literally nothing to be upset about. These people are just, they wake up and go, what can I get angry at today? It's a horrible way to live. Sean Caston says, the Trump administration in one image. Okay. Cool story, bro. You want to check back once it's renovated? Sheesh. Find something real to complain about. How dare they renovate? Let's see a little clip about what the East Wing.
A historic piece of the White House is disappearing. Demolition of the East Wing has begun, making way for President Trump's new $250 million ballroom. Franklin Roosevelt constructed the primary structure of the East Wing in 1942, and it's long served as the main entry point for guests and tourists. It was designed as a graceful passage toward the White House residence, lined with portraits of first ladies and framed to the south by the Jacqueline Kennedy Garden. Beyond its historic halls, the East Wing also houses the office of the
This is from the Associated Press.
First Lady and the White House Social Office. The White House on Monday started tearing down part of the East Wing to build President Donald Trump's ballroom. The Republican president has said he's adding a 90,000 square foot ballroom because the East Room, the largest room in the White House with an approximately 200-person capacity, is too small. Trump said the ballroom will fit 999 people.
I'm outraged about a ballroom. Kenneth's bathroom is also his ballroom. My garage is my ballroom with basketballs, baseballs. Yeah, I mean, is Hillary Clinton the worst or what? It's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. The old building is receiving a massively needed upgrade free of charge to the American people, and yet Hillary still finds the time to hate. Also, President Trump doesn't draw a paycheck as president. Did your husband? All right, well, here's a story people were super excited to talk about. A pardoned Capitol rioter was charged with crime this week with Hakeem Jeffries.
Scott McFarland joins us now with the...
What, this is the only person that's going to get arrested for making threats? Seems like that's not even a thing anymore, judging by the amount of people that just keep making really ridiculous threats.
Very latest. Scott, what'd you find out?
Hey, Kelly, his name is Christopher Moynihan. On January 6th, he was on the Senate floor among the small group of rioters who seized control of the Senate gallery, was rifling through desks.
Seized control. Yeah, they were at a protest. Seized control.
Seized control of the Senate gallery,
Nice
was
word.
rifling through desks, was up on the Senate dais during the U.S. Capitol siege. He was found guilty in 2022, was sentenced to 21 months in prison. He was among the 1,500-plus January 6 rioters and riot defendants to be pardoned and freed from their convictions by President Trump. CBS News has learned local authorities in New York State arrested Christopher Moynihan again Sunday. According to the charging document obtained by CBS News from New York's state police and the local prosecutor upstate, Christopher Moynihan texted threats, terroristic threats, they say, against Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader, texting, quote, "Even if I am hated, he must be eliminated. I will kill him for the future," about Jeffries. Allegedly, Moynihan not only texted that, but knew that Jeffries was to appear yesterday at an event at the Economic Club of New York and noted that date in that event in the text thread. Tony, Moynihan has not yet entered a plea. His first court appearance is set for Thursday in Dutchess County, New York.
All right, Scott.
So there you go. That has happened. What is this now? Elon posting terrible. An African man arrested for R-ing a 10-year-old Irish girl earlier today. Is a failed asylum seeker with an active deportation order since March. The girl, who has been in care, was not housed at the hotel, and investigators are working to establish how she ended up there. Suspect arrived in Ireland 6 years ago and failed in his application for international protection in 24. Subject of a deportation order since March of this year. R of a 10-year-old Irish girl by an asylum-seeking invader. This was 100% avoidable. What can Europe do to defend itself? Oh, Corinne Jean-Pierre comes back, and she is just as insufferable as before, even though now she doesn't have the Sideshow Bob haircut.
How to move forward. And for me, as a Black woman, as a person who's also LGBTQ.
Yeah. Megyn Kelly says, has she done even one interview where she doesn't mention she's Black? In what area is that relevant? We care about your incapability in that office as press secretary. We care about the lies that you were telling. I don't have to care what you look like. I don't have to care who you choose to sleep with. I don't have to care about any of that. In fact, isn't that the society we were trying to build? The one that we don't worry about stuff like that? We don't concern ourselves with matters of the frivolous, such as what we look like and what we choose to do in the bedroom? That's not supposed to be an important public policy position. It's not supposed to be relevant.
LGBTQ. As a Black woman, as a person who's also LGBTQ, I feel as if those communities that I am part of largely get taken for granted. And I see that today in groups that are being thrown under the bus for a short-term win. And it is not the big tent party that I loved and enjoyed and was part of and fought for. Short-term win. And
she left
groups that are being thrown
and says she's independent. Say Dems are missing the mark, and she defends Joe Biden against the claims of him lacking mental acuity, which he clearly did. She's still lying.
Went under the bus for a short-term win. And it is not the big tent party that I love.
But she did have the circus, the Sideshow Bob circus hair, though.
And enjoyed and was part of and fought for. And so for me, I want to start a conversation with how do we fix this? The system is indeed broken. The two-party system is not functioning in the way where our democracy is being protected.
It's a republic.
Protected right now. I feel as if the Democratic Party right now is too timid. They're not speaking up. We need to be, they need to have a strategy and be really clear about how they're moving forward in this moment. And when I left the administration on January 20th, I was hearing from people. I would go around. I'm sure you all hear from folks too as you're going to the supermarket and doing the business of your day. And people would come up to me and they would say, "What's happening? What's going on? Why isn't the Democratic Party fighting? Where's their teeth? Why are they not standing up?" They knew this was coming. And it really broke me. It broke my heart to hear it because people were crying. People were upset about this. And so this is my way of using my platform to have a conversation, to start a conversation.
Nah. I almost forgot how much I enjoyed not having to listen to her. Dr. Malouf says the historic St. Anne's Catholic Cathedral in Buffalo, New York was sold to the Islamic community for only $250,000. And now they're going to convert it into a mosque and an Islamic center. This is sad. This big old mega church. Look at that. You want to tear this down, turn it into a mosque? Autism Capital says that the Signal Wikipedia NPR class believes it's okay to lie as long as it's in service of what they consider to be the greater good. Sounds like Takia, really, right?
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us.
I don't like her as an actress.
Might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus.
The truth is a distraction from us finding consensus. Oh yeah, you can find consensus on anything if it doesn't matter what's accurate. Oh yeah, we got a consensus on everything. Don't let reality and facts get in the way of our consensus. Really? This is just strange speak, people.
And getting important things done.
Getting important things done.
Now, none of that's to say that the truth isn't important. The truth
That's exactly
obviously exists. It's at the core, or the search for the truth is at the core of some of our greatest human achievements.
Mm-hmm.
It can animate and inspire us to do, learn, and create great
I don't like her as an actress at all.
things. But I think in our messy human hearts, we also know that the truth is something of a fickle mistress, and that the beauty of the truth is actually often in the struggle. It's the reason that we have so many sublime chronicles of the human experience, because there are so many different truths to be explored. And so in this spirit, I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truths. And this is because for many of us, truth is what we make when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. Each of us has our own truth, and it's probably a good one. It's based.
Yeah, there is no subjective reality. To the left. Yeah, check out earlier today, we had our show, No Kings Replaced President Trump over the weekend. Look at that. That was our feed. That was our accidental feed this morning. So you missed half our show earlier today. By the way, in the NFL, in the Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays defeated the Seattle Mariners. So they will be representing the American League against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay, she lost me in the first minute. Yeah, that lady talks in circles. We played you this before. Department of Defense official laughs. I think it happens pretty quick in this clip. So
there is a lot of waste.
And then she rambles for a while, but she laughs at Jon Stewart not wanting waste, fraud, and abuse.
To be doing, like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose these pieces.
Please educate me on
Sure.
What
so an audit is
difference.
Exactly what you just described,
Yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DoD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse.
With a straight face, she says that the fact that the Department of Defense not passing a budget is not indicative of waste, fraud, and abuse. Yes, it is. This is so many years in a row. This is endemic. This is intentional.
Which you just described,
Yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit or the fact that the DOD has not passed an audit is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there. So
what is
now
it
it's a question of, it's suggestive that we can't.
Yeah, so what is it suggestive of then?
We don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where. That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
It's abusive to not track your stuff. It's wasteful to have question marks when you should just be able to get answers. It's fraudulent when 1 + 1 = who knows, because we can't add it properly. I disagree.
So in my world,
Yeah.
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you
Well,
are
we didn't
not
necessarily-
responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? And when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and that you caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure I
that
didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went, like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud, or abuse, because they would wonder why that money isn't well accounted for. And especially when they see food insecurity on military bases, and they see...
You want to talk about that? Because that's a good, we should be talking. I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's
trying to
all-
understand
is-
where you're trying to go, other than the dollars, which really bother you.
I think it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all connected.
Okay.
I think
tell
when
me,
I
tell
look...
me that story.
He's leaning away from her, like the body language.
Tell me how you're thinking
Well,
about that.
when I see a State Department get a certain amount of money and a military budget...
This, of course, is John Stewart. Who's he talking with here? Just as a DOD official. Oh, there you go. Democrat Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks, her smug answer about the rampant waste, fraud, and abuse.
Budget be 10 times that, and I see a struggle within government to get people like more basic services, and then that department that got that, I mean, we got out of 20 years of war, and the Pentagon got a $50 billion raise. Like, that's shocking to me. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs and the incredible magic of an audit, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's fucking corruption. I'm sorry. And if that blows your mind, and if you think like that's like a crazy agenda for me to have, I really think that that's institutional thinking, and that it's not looking at the day-to-day reality of the people that you call the greatest fighting force in the world. So I get back to this idea of like, I'm not looking to pick a fight with you, but I am surprised at that the reaction to these questions are, you don't know what an audit is, bucko. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay.
Uncomfortable Kamala laugh. Yeah, that was a classic. Look, even Bill Maher sees through the BS. This is, I don't know, turning point. I don't know. Important, yeah.
No, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does. When conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. They see gender as only a construct and sex as assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America. Not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say math is racist, queers for Palestine, looting is cool, healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter. No, I don't.
You're not Harry Potter, and it doesn't make it true. Yep, when Bill Maher starts sounding like a Republican, you know the Democrats are too far left. All right. President Trump says, I'm pleased to announce that ground has been broken on the White House grounds to build the new, big, beautiful White House ballroom, completely separate from the White House itself. The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of this process and will be more beautiful than ever when it's complete. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, etc. I'm honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. The White House ballroom is being privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly. This ballroom will be happily used for generations to come. President Donald J. Trump. Blue Province says prior renovations were all approved by the Public Buildings Administration and similar commissions and agencies. That's the issue here, since Trump has no approvals. It's okay to admit that what Trump is doing is wrong. Go through the proper channels and protect the public interest. Yeah, free upgrade is definitely in the public interest. My understanding is that he doesn't need to go through those. Pinkies up. There's Lauren. Pinkies up on my coffee. If the Schumer shutdown doesn't end today, Trump will be the person who was president when he was sabotaged by the deep state Democrats during the 2 longest government shutdowns in U.S. history. Yeah, we know. The Democrats are children. Thank you for bringing that up. They're petulant children who take the ball and go home if they don't get their way. They burn America down in 2020 so that they can get their way. We know what they are. There's a clean continuing resolution on the table, and the Democrats are blocking it. This is the Schumer shutdown, the Hakeem Jeffries Schumer shutdown. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, the American people are not in favor of the Schumer Democrat shutdown. The military's been funded from tariffs. Ha, you didn't get to harm the military like you wanted, to weaken us because you hate this country. What else? Oh, government programs are being cut and they're not going to come back. So this is a really bad strategy by Schumer. I'd say Jeffries, but I don't think there's 2 bats in the belfry up there with that guy. You can dislike Schumer, but he's got a plan. You can dislike his plan because you should. But thanks for pointing that out, Lauren. Yeah, the deep state Democrats led us on witch hunts. They spied on candidate Trump and tried to take out President Trump with multiple coup attempts, including whatever the hell happened in that 2020 air quote election. Yeah, we see what the Democrats are up to. Multiple assassination attempts, multiple lawfare attempts, multiple coup attempts, multiple impeachments, multiple government shutdowns. Yes, that's all because of the Democrat. It's all because of the Democrat Party. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, Peter Lloyd says this is Tabassum Begum from Pakistan defrauded UK taxpayers in fake benefit claims despite savings of that. I don't even know it there. And she avoided jail, got a suspended sentence. Meanwhile, a woman named Lucy Conley gets 31 months for a deleted tweet. There's two-tier justice system in Great Britain. Remember how little you respect Karine Jean-Pierre? Here's a reminder.
We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about him that well.
Like
though.
what?
He couldn't talk about him. He wasn't campaigning
No. Wait. First of all, he did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
I mean, he talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like he didn't do paid events.
Tim, that's not true. Tim,
that is true.
You're conflating all of it. That's what you're doing. No, you're telling me he didn't talk well about it. Then you're telling me he didn't talk at all.
He didn't do either. He didn't talk very often, and when he did, it wasn't very good.
He didn't talk very much, and when he did, it wasn't very good. That's exactly what he's saying. No, he's not conflating it. It's very obvious, but you're like getting closer to the camera. You're going to headbutt us.
He sounded very old.
Maybe you weren't paying attention to what we were doing.
Oh, maybe you're too dumb to get it. Oh, you don't let people, some people will try to black pill you and say there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. I disagree. I think there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans. I couldn't handle this as our press secretary day in and day out, just lying to our faces anymore.
The White House. But
I paid attention. I'm with you on the policies. I'm talking about his performance.
The president spoke to the American people a couple times.
President Trump's multiple times every day.
A week. He traveled.
What did he do? He traveled.
A week. He traveled. Times a week. He traveled. And the domestic travel week. He traveled. And the domestic traveled. He traveled. And the domestic traveled. And the traveled. And the domestic travel and talk directly to.
Yeah, he went and would sit on a beach and fall asleep.
To the American people. We did have.
Karine Jean-Pierre. She cannot be serious. The Australian put out a report calling it 5 months of hell with a male inmate going by the name of Krista Richards, a man who said he was trans, got locked up with her and made it hell. It's cruel to allow men who claim to be women into women-only spaces, especially when the woman can't leave. That's awful. Independent reports that Nicolas Sarkozy becomes the first French leader to go to prison since World War II. Bill Malugin reports a DHS, Department of Homeland Security report, saying a serial drunk driver is charged with killing 61-year-old North Carolina resident Richard Ferguson in an alleged DUI hit-and-run crash last month. It's a previously deported Guatemalan illegal alien with prior arrests for DUI and assault. Why in the world would we want an illegal alien previously deported with prior arrests for DUI and assault? Why are we letting that person in the country? Explain that. Don't tell me I'm racist. Don't tell me I'm... Nope. Doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you got a crazy criminal record, you're out. Best and brightest. But what about the huddled masses? Send them to France that built that thing. No, this is a meritocracy, and we don't need to elect to receive the dregs of society. No, we do not. Prior arrests as a deported illegal alien, DUI, assault. Wilmer Fuentes Mejia first entered the U.S. illegally in 2015 and then released into the U.S. by Obama. Deported by the first Trump admin in 2020, then re-entered the U.S. illegally as a gotaway after that at an unknown time and location. This guy killed this old black guy. I don't care what the illegal alien looks like. I don't care what the victim looks like. Neither need to look like me. Neither need to look any particular way. I'm against the activities. And that's what happens when you don't have a bouncer at the door to your nightclub. Anyone's coming in. This previously deported illegal alien invader murderer is currently in custody at Durham County, North Carolina Detention Center. And ICE has placed a detainer request on him with local authorities. Ferguson leaves behind 11 siblings. That's awful. What's the latest on John Brennan? Has he been indicted? Jim Jordan says John Brennan lied to Congress. Today we referred him to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution. Good. Get them all. Get Clinton, get Obama, get all of them. Devin Nunes has been completely vindicated, says MAGA Nation. All right, Brennan. Oh, hey, here's an update on the Cincinnati police chief that seems to have no business in this role. Placed on leave after she's been accused of anti-white bias within the department. Long overdue. Here's another black on white, punch in the face, knockdown moment. Wow. What is this? Is this a new video? I don't think I saw this one. Or is this from a different angle? Chief Thietge infamously blamed the media for the viral attack on white tourists by blacks in July, adding to the evidence that she's making decisions based on race. Per a new lawsuit, the chief used a race-based quota system to decide promotions and hirings. Given the fact that she's now on leave, this sounds pretty credible. DEI police chiefs need to go. Okay. Why you would put a woke white liberal woman in charge of security is beyond my imagination. What are they saying? Mr. Beast gets scared to admit what he saw in Antarctica?
And got all nervous. You'll be met with military. Well, today. Antarctica, why there's a 33 inside of the United Piece.
All right, so you're saying it's concentric circles. Check out that video if you're so inclined. All right, Speaker Mike Johnson is warning us about a clear and present danger in the country. And it makes sense. There is a coalescing of anti-American...
I want you to listen to something. See if you've heard this before. Here is our Speaker of the House on Friday. Listen.
They're going to descend on our Capitol for their much-anticipated so-called No Kings rally.
Yes, by the way, Marion, I'm so tired of hearing prior arrest for these illegals. One arrest and you're gone. Violent arrests and you should be locked away for a very long time, not re-released or downgraded charges. It's madness. You clean this stuff up, you're gonna create a utopia in this country. The Democrats have tried destroying it. Don't let them.
We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that. If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, you're going to bring together the Marxists, the socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. That is the modern Democratic Party. That's where they've gone. And
okay, stop.
Hate America.
Did you hear this? Have you heard that before? Listen to this.
I put this up and said, radicals, Islamists, communists, and socialists will work together against Israel, against capitalism, and work together to overturn stability. There are radicals.
It's finally the government has caught up. But notice what he said. I was saying they're going to work together. He is saying they have become the Democratic Party. And I believe that is true. What the people had a problem with back then was anarchists. I mean, they don't want a state government. They don't want hierarchies or centralized authority. How could they possibly? Communists, they're going to work with the anarchists. They want absolute state control over every aspect of life. Islamists, you throw them in, they want theocratic rule. They want Sharia law. Yeah. I know it was for the simple-minded back then, couldn't understand it, but I think you do. Why do they work together? Because they all share one immediate goal, and that is destroy the existing order. I did a monologue on hour number 1 of today's podcast. I urge you to go back and listen to it. Why is this being funded by billionaires? For the same reason, destroy the existing order. All of them think they will win in the end, okay? They know they can't achieve their utopia without first tearing down the system that they hate, capitalism, constitution, Western civilization, whatever it is. And once the system is down, that's when real chaos begins. That's when they turn on each other. But in the meantime, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And they will turn on each other. They will be Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. Promise. It happens every time. But in the beginning, they convince the useful idiots that they're on the same team. They are not on the same team, and they're not on Team America.
So how do you measure are we moving towards tyranny or not? Yeah, first thing, forget the labels, okay? Are constitutional norms being eroded or bypassed? Do you even know what those constitutional norms are? Are voices being silenced? Is my side saying, yes, we should silence voices? Is it being done by the state and or by private actors working hand in glove with the state? If so, you have a sign of fascism. Are businesses punished for political beliefs? Is a bank saying you can't do business with us because of your political belief? If so, you're on the road to fascism. Are loans being denied by ideology? Are laws enforced against political enemies but ignored for political allies? That's a big one for both sides. Are public-private partnerships being weaponized to shape behavior or restrict liberty? If the answer is yes, even if people are saying we're doing it for your own safety or for equity or for democracy, liberty is in danger. When they're enforcing the law, like arresting drug traffickers or gang members or people who are entering the country illegally, that's not fascism. It's what sovereign nations do to remain free. What is fascism is when the government decides which laws to enforce based on politics or race, when it punishes thought, when it merges with corporate power to control the people. That's also what authoritarians do. When you say no king, what does that even mean? No king. I bet they can't even tell you what that means. Well, I mean, somebody's going against the Constitution. King doesn't care about a constitution. The king is appointed by God.
Yeah. It's such a goofily named protest movement. So goofy when it's the Democrats who've been acting like kings.
And so he has complete control of the land, of the dukes and the earls. He hands out favors. He makes all of the decisions. That's what a king is. I'm sorry, Donald Trump does not fit authoritarian. He does not fit fascist. He does not fit Islamist or communist. And he doesn't fit king. So what is your side doing again?
It was a really strange movement. Hey, speaking of really strange, this guy, Robert De Niro, again on MSNBC. I wonder what kind of dirt they have on him to make him dance to the puppet masters here. It's sad to watch this.
He will not. We see it. We see it all the time. He will not want to leave. He set it up with his.
Well, by the way, you're the ones that are trying to throw him in prison if he leaves. You're the ones creating this. You never go after former presidents. Your side did this. How could you expect someone to want to leave when you know that they're going to try to throw him in jail with lawfare again?
I guess he's the Goebbels of the cabinet. Stephen Miller. He
calls the Jewish Stephen Miller the Nazi Goebbels. Okay.
He's a Nazi. Yeah.
He's a Nazi. What a fuckwad Robert De Niro is.
Stephen Miller. He's a Nazi.
He's a Nazi.
Yes, he is, and he's Jewish, and he should be ashamed of himself. He will not.
Wow. This goofball on the left. Forget his name. Wow, wow, wow. Svetlana Lokhova says Brennan's CIA and Comey's FBI ran anti-Trump operations from the UK via Steph Halper and Christopher Steele. Gina Haspel was head of the CIA station in London. Alan Kohler was the FBI liaison. John Bolton knew Halper, and Bolton's aide Fiona Hill was close friend of Steele. These are all names you're gonna hear a lot about. In 2016, to stop Donald Trump, the false story was fabricated in London by intel operatives, Halper and Steele, that Svetlana Lokhova had an affair with General Flynn and that she was a Russian spy, used to investigate the Trump campaign and later the Trump administration, leading to the appointment of Mueller. They were hoping to impeach the president. President Trump tried to declassify these documents in 2018, but Bolton, Haspel, Wray, and Rosenstein stopped the declass, claiming it would hurt relationships with top ally Britain and endanger national security. In fact, the declass would have endangered the deep state. December 30th, 2020, at the end of his first term, President Trump finally declassified documents revealing the FBI, CIA, British intel operations against him, but was not even allowed by the IC to declassify words London or the United Kingdom. The Halper UK documents then got retroactively reclassified by Biden's national security team, Obama, Comey, Brennan loyalists, in May of 22. The docs were then raided by the FBI team headed by the head of counterintelligence, former FBI London liaison Alan Kohler, who knew Halper and Steele. The documents were then hidden, they thought, forever. So what, that was the Mar-a-Lago raid? To steal back what Trump had declassified and then hide them again because you knew it would lead back to Obama and Clinton and the rest of your deep state hacks, traitors to this nation? John Bolton said on TV he knows what the documents are, that they are highly classified, sensitive, and that President Trump should be severely punished for storing them because he endangered national security. In fact, it was the deep state that was endangered. President Trump was then charged under the Espionage Act. Fortunately, President Trump won the election and the charges were dropped. President Trump finally declassified the full documents this year. General Mike Flynn says, how did we ever get to this point in American politics? Obama really does need to be held accountable for these crimes. I agree. Do you agree or disagree with this lady here?
No kings, but get the jab or lose your job. No kings, but social distance and stay 6 feet apart. No king.
Oh, there's music. It's AC/DC. Can I play it quietly?
No kings, but call your presidential nominee Queen Kamala.
Queen Kamala.
No kings, but you have to carry around a vaccine card with confidential medical information. No kings, but we're going to...
Anyway, I can't play it because of the music. Did you hear this story? 38-year-old accountant Benjamin Michael Campbell arrested after allegedly opening fire on a MAGA supporter over a Trump sign. Gets out of his car and rips down the sign. Campbell fires shots at 62-year-old Mark Thomas in North Carolina. According to Thomas, Campbell was driving on the road when he came to a screeching halt after seeing a Trump sign. He was driving along, saw the sign, slammed on his brakes, had a political trigger moment, and he just had to tear the sign down. Thomas tells the Daily Mail. He started reaching up on his tippy toes, trying to get to the edge of his sign. I just thought to myself, this is not happening. I don't believe this. Thomas said he went outside and fired 2 warning shots. By this point, he had ripped the sign off, and he just whipped it up and threw it down on the ground like he was proud of what he just did. I thought, holy smokes. Campbell then returned to his car and got a gun before firing 5 to 6 rounds at Thomas. He fired 5 to 6 rounds as he was heading back down the driveway to the highway that passes in front of my place. Campbell, who's 5'6", was later arrested and charged with a Class C felony assault, facing 17 years in prison, driving around shooting out the top of your vehicle. Libs of TikTok reports photos from Denver's No Kings protest. Look, smiling behind a sign that says Charlie Kirk had it coming. Changed my mind. Fuck you. Politicians don't die like they used to. Make assassinations great again. Is this Trantifa here? Are these two dudes presenting as ladies, pushing for assassinations? This one is clearly President Trump, wishing that President Trump was shot and ended. That's wild business right there. That is wild business. Yep, we told you about Herbert Jordan, Charlotte, North Carolina man, arrested 50 times, including assaulting a police officer, allegedly. Then while out on bond, assaults another woman. Then only given another $5,000 bond. What are you doing? So yeah, the Supreme Court will consider whether people who regularly smoke pot can legally own guns. This should not even be a thing. Yeah, hold people accountable for what they do with their weapons, not for what other people do with them. This woman that made... She's dancing and mocking Charlie Kirk. The woman who made the hand gesture showing a bullet to the neck at No Kings protest identifies as a teacher in Chicago public schools. I think she was fired now. Wall Street Apes says Donald Trump needs to arrest Gavin Newsom for treason. California Rep. Carl DeMeo says my message is simple to Newsom. You son of a bitch for putting the lives of ICE agents at risk, and now you're working for the cartels. Newsom working with the cartels against ICE. Do you know why $2,000 is being offered? Because you just signed this dangerous law. Revealing the identity of the ICE agents operating in California, putting a bounty on their heads, puts them at risk. SB 627 makes it a crime for an ICE agent to wear a mask to hide their identity. They're out there hiding their identity, knowing that the cartel's trying to target them and their family. Under state law, they're now at risk of being prosecuted by Gavin Newsom. That's insanity. President Trump had a great quote. He said, "I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all." And he does work his ass off. That much is known. All right. This show, in conjunction with my previous show, is going to wrap up my prepared remarks on the day. I plan on being back tomorrow at noon to get you another live show, dumping the news stories on the table, talking about the most important stuff. Program reminder. Oh, by the way, tip jar stuff is at the bottom of the screen. Rumble rants and super chats and whatnot, direct donations, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Programming note that Strictly Football that normally airs Tuesdays at 6 p.m. will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and Ezrael Robinson will plan on being back Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Special reminder, our YouTube channel, if anybody could watch some extra hours of content, we're under 300 hours. We're 289 hours away from getting advertising revenue back on our YouTube account. That just means when anyone clicks any of the videos anywhere, it's going to play ads. We could really use that. So if you could consider watching some extra hours of YouTube content on the New American Media between now and tomorrow, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. Kenneth! Kenneth breaks the piggy bank. I've been called daddy. I've been called teacher. I've been called a lot worse than that. Super chat from Mr. Kenneth. Super chat, super chap. Thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth. We appreciate you as always. Reminder, if you want a mug for the New American Media, just shoot us a $40 donation. Kenneth has his mug. Kenneth likes his mug. Kenneth does not drink out of his mug so as not to damage said mug. But we do have mugs. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. And yeah, we will plan on being back tomorrow, noon Eastern time, for more on the TNAM Daily Show. So for now, signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody, buddy. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.